The First Footer, a New Year's Tale. In the heart of a quiet woodland, blanketed with snow, a serene silence enveloped everything as the dawn of New Year's Eve arrived. Mole and Ratty, bundled in cozy scarves and coats, set off along a snowy path. Their breaths turned to mist in the frosty air, and Mole admired the frost-covered branches shimmering like jeweled lacework in the soft sunlight. Ratty, however, grumbled against the cold. "Too chilly for a walk," he muttered, tightening his coat. Mole simply smiled. Ratty's complaints were as much a part of winter as the snow, and they never lasted long. Mole felt light-hearted, his spirits lifted by the crisp air and the promise of a new beginning. As they trotted along, the peaceful morning shattered with a sudden commotion. A loud whoosh and frantic cries echoed through the stillness. Mole turned just in time to see a blur of green, gold, and red zooming toward them. It was none other than Mr. Toad, wobbling wildly on a pair of brand new roller skates. "Make way!" Toad shouted, his arms flailing. Mole yelped and pulled Ratty aside just in time. Toad skidded to a stop in a spray of snow, narrowly avoiding a crash. "Toad!" Ratty exclaimed, brushing snow off his coat. "What are you up to now?" "Practicing, of course," Toad declared, adjusting his cravat with a flamboyant flourish. "And a happy New Year to you both. I'm hosting the grandest New Year's Eve party at Toad Hall. You simply must come. Be my first footers. Bring a lucky lump of coal and we'll welcome the new year in true style." Mole's eyes sparkled at the thought of music and laughter, but Ratty frowned. Noisy parties, Toad's boasting, and chaos? Ratty shook his head. "Not for me. I'll spend the evening by the fire, thank you." He turned and walked briskly away. Toad's excitement faded. His shoulders slumped as he looked at Mole. "I suppose you'll say no, too," he said sadly. Mole hesitated. He longed to join the festivities but couldn't bear to leave Ratty, especially when he was looking forward to a peaceful evening. "Maybe another time, Toad," Mole said gently. "But you'll have plenty of friends at your party." Toad's face fell further. "No one," he said, his voice cracking. "They all think I'm too much, too loud, too boastful. Maybe they're right." Mole's heart ached for him. "Oh, Toad," he said softly, placing a paw on Toad's arm. "You don't have to spend New Year's alone. Come and join us. You can be our first footer." Toad's face lit up with a smile. "Really? You mean it?" He looked so delighted that Mole couldn't help but grin back. That evening, the quiet warmth of Ratty's riverside home wrapped around them like a cozy blanket. The fire crackled merrily, and the room was filled with the comforting smell of toasted crumpets. Mole and Ratty shared stories of their past adventures, their laughter mingling with the sound of the gently burning logs. As midnight neared, a loud knock startled Ratty frowned and opened the door. To his astonishment, a huge sack of coal tumbled into the room, spilling soot everywhere. Behind it stood Toad, dressed in his finest evening attire. "Happy New Year!" Toad cried, stepping inside with a sheepish grin. "I brought coal, lots of it, for extra luck." "The first footer brings 1 lump of coal," Mole chuckled, struggling not to laugh. Ratty's face, however, turned red with irritation. Before Ratty could voice his frustration, the cuckoo clock chimed. Midnight had arrived. Ratty hesitated, then sighed. "It's New Year's Day now," he said slowly. "And a new year means a fresh start. Happy New Year, Toad." "Happy New Year!" Toad beamed. The 3 friends settled around the fire, laughing as they cleaned up the coal and soot. They toasted with cider, sang Auld Lang Syne, and shared their hopes for the year ahead. Outside, snowflakes danced in the moonlight, and the warm glow of friendship filled the room. As Mole gazed into the flickering flames, he felt a deep contentment. This, he thought, was what New Year's was truly about: friendship, forgiveness, and the promise of brighter days ahead.